Hello students, so today you are going to learn new lesson. Chapter 7, Conservation of Plants and Animals from class 8. So in our lesson, the first point is about deforestation. So what is deforestation? Deforestation is nothing but it is a clearing of forest. You can see here, clearing of forest and using the land for other purposes. So plants are cut down and the same land where the plants were grown, that land is used for other purposes. The purposes are different. Some people are using that place, that land for cultivation. Some persons are using the same land for the construction site or for the making factories or building dam. So there are many reasons behind it. For that purpose the land is used. Now, so this is called as deforestation. Deforestation, cutting down of the trees or clearing the forest and using the land, using the same land for the different purposes. That is called as deforestation. Now, what are the causes? Why this deforestation is done? So, what are the causes behind it? For that purpose, the deforestation is done in our India, not in our India, all over the world it is done. So, what are the causes? So, causes, many times the question is asked on this point because there are some questions which can be asked. What are the causes of the deforestation? What do you think? What type of causes are behind the deforestation? So, here the first cause is procuring land for cultivation. Procuring land for the cultivation. So, the land which is where the plants were there, trees were there, and when they are cut down, so that land is used for the cultivation, for farming purpose or for the cultivation purpose. So the land get available for the cultivation, and there the people can cultivate different types of crops, and they can fulfill their demand of the food. In this way, the land is used for the cultivation, and to get the land available, this deforestation is done. So that is the cause. Next cause is building houses and factories. So building houses and factories means to build house and to build factories, a place is required, and that place can get available after the clearing of the forest, means after the deforestation. So when the deforestation is done, at that time the place will get available, the land will get available to build houses and factories. The next cause is using wood as fuel. You can see in most of the villages the wood is used as fuel, and to get available wood, this deforestation is done. Now for making furnitures, again to make the different type of furnitures, wood is required, and we know that wood we get from the different type of plants and trees. So for that purpose again trees are cut down for making the furnitures. Furnitures like cupboard, chair, table, many type of furnitures are there which can decorate our house, which can decorate our buildings, schools, hospitals. Many types of furnitures are available, but they are made by this wood. Now, natural causes are also the reason of deforestation. So, what is a natural cause? You can see here drought. Drought is the main natural cause of the deforestation, as well as the forest fire. Here in the picture you can see the forest fire is the picture. Forest fire, this image can show this is the natural cause of the deforestation. So when the forest catch fire, so many plants, many trees burn in the fire, and the land and the plants become dead when they get burned. So that land is also get available for different purposes. But this is the natural reason of the deforestation. And drought. In the drought, there is less rainfall or no rainfall. In such a condition, plants cannot survive. So again, the plants will be not there. So this is called as deforestation again, and the cause behind it is a drought. Next point is now consequences of deforestation. So what are the consequences of deforestation? You can see here. The consequences consequences of deforestation are increase in the temperature. Use here, you can underline, increase in the temperature and pollution level on the earth. So consequences, here you have to understand what is the meaning of the consequences. Consequences is nothing but it is means effect of the deforestation. So how the deforestation will affect on the environment, on the surrounding, or on any type of part of ecosystem. Now here you can notice the consequences or the effect of the deforestations are when the deforestation is done, when the number of plants are cut down in more quantity, at that time there will be increase in temperature, because we know that plants makes the environment cool, and plants bring down the temperature of the surrounding as well as bring down the temperature of the atmosphere. So here, if there are no plants, so temperature of the earth, temperature of our surrounding will get increased, as well as pollution level also get increased. And pollution level, it can be controlled by just a plant only, because we know that when many vehicles, many automobiles run on the road, at that time different type of gases like CO2, SO2, CO, NO2, like these gases are released in the atmosphere, which can pollute the environment, which can increase the air pollution, which will affect on living organisms body as well as non-living organisms. Now here, that level will get increased, pollution level. It can be controlled just by planting the trees only. Increase in the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, leading to the global warming. So when CO2 means carbon dioxide level is get increased in the atmosphere, it can lead to the global warming, which can be responsible. Excess amount of CO2 can be responsible for the global warming, because the CO2 traps the heat and makes the earth hot. In this way, the global warming means the temperature of the earth increases, that is called as global warming. Next point is lowering of the ground water level. So plants hold water tightly, plant hold the soil tightly, and plant helps to increase the water level. But if the plants are cut down, if the deforestation is done, then this deforestation leads to lower the groundwater level. So groundwater level can be decreased, and if there are no plants, then the more water cannot sit in the soil, in the ground, and in this way, if there are no plants, there the groundwater level can be decreased. Next point is disturb the balance in the nature. Now we know that when this deforestation is done, it can disturb the balance in the nature. There is a proper balance in the living thing as well as non-living thing, and once the plants are get decreased or cut down, then the natural balance can get disturbed. So we know about the food chain. So next point is decrease in rainfall leading to drought. So when the rainfall will get decreased, it can lead to the drought. If there are no plants, if the plants are cut down, then it leads to less rainfall. And if there is less rainfall or no rainfall, then it can cause drought. This is a natural disaster, drought. Soil erosion and decrease in soil fertility and leading to the desertification. So when the plants are not there, soil erosion will take place, and because the plants root hold the soil tightly, and if the plants are not there, then soil can flow from one place to other place easily. There will be the soil erosion. So soil cannot be available at that place, because if plants are not available, the plants cannot hold the soil if there are no plants. So here that can decrease the soil fertility also, because a fertile soil can flow away with the water as well as air. And when there is a soil erosion and when there is a decrease in the soil fertility, it can cause desertification. So in the desertification area, no plant can grow, because only rocky area will be available and no soil will be there. So desertification can be caused because of the deforestation. soil leading to floods. And when there is a decrease, when the decrease in water holding capacity of the soil, then it can leading to the flood. Soil has the capacity which can hold the water, but if the soil loses its capacity of holding the water, then there will be the flood situation, or it will cause the floods. So these are the consequences of the deforestation. Causes are different and consequences are different. Now next point is, here you can see the conservation of forest and wildlife. So why should we conserve the forest? And why should we conserve the wildlife? Wildlife, the animals which are available in the jungle, in short we can say. So these wildlife is also important, as well as some plants, some trees which are available in jungle, in forest. Those are also important. So we have to conserve them, we have to save, we have to preserve all of them. So why it is necessary, and why should we do that, and how can we do that? So most important point is here, the forest and wildlife can be conserved. How can we conserve? By setting up areas like biosphere reserve, wildlife sanctuaries and national park. So by this way, there are 3 areas we can set up. Number 1, biosphere reserve. Number 2, wildlife sanctuary, and the number 3 is national park. So like these areas when we set up, then the wildlife sanctuary, then the wildlife can be conserved. Biosphere reserve means what? So what is the biosphere reserve? Biosphere reserve is nothing but it is a large area of protected land for the conservation of biodiversity and the traditional life of the tribals living there. So biosphere reserve is nothing but it is a large area, and that in the large area, what is protected? Land. For the conservation of biodiversity. Biodiversity means the variety of animals and variety of plants, variety of microorganisms, variety of plants, variety of animals. All these are included in the biodiversity. So the land is protected for the conservation, for the saving or for the preservation of this biodiversity, means plants, animals and microorganisms, as well as with them again traditional life can be conserved. Whose traditional life? Of the tribals. So tribals are living in such an area, so their life, traditional life also can be conserved. So it happens in the biosphere reserve. Next one is national park. So what is the national park? National park is again it is an area, and this area is reserved for the wildlife, and where they can be freely use the habitat and natural resources. Now here you can understand that in this national park nothing but it is an area where that area is also protected, and here in the area wildlife means tiger, lion, different type of animals are there which can freely move from one place to other place, and they can freely use their habitat, they can freely use all the natural resources like plants, animals, water, like these natural resources are available in the national park. So these animals can freely use in the national park. So such an area is a national park. Now wildlife sanctuary means what? Again it is area where some animals are protected. Here wildlife sanctuary is again area where animals are protected from any disturbance to them and their habitat. So in the wildlife sanctuary all the animals are protected, no one can disturb them, no one can hunt, no one can kill them, and we cannot disturb their habitat also, we cannot disturb them. So their habitat and these animals are protected in the wildlife sanctuary. Here in the picture you can see biosphere reserve, national park and the wildlife sanctuary. So these pictures are shown here. Next point is biosphere reserve. Yes, I told all of you what is meant by biosphere reserve. Biosphere reserve are the large areas protected land, large area of protected land for the conservation of biodiversity and the traditional life. Here you have to understand it is a large area, and here the biodiversity is conserved with it tribal life or traditional life of tribals is concerned in the biosphere itself. Biodiversity means what? Variety of plants, different type of plants, different type of animals, and different type of microorganisms found in the area, that is called as biodiversity. So biodiversity, variety of plants, variety of animals, and variety of microorganisms found in the area, such is called as biodiversity. Now here example is given, the Pachmari Biosphere Reserve consists, now this is the picture of Pachmari Biosphere Reserve. This biosphere reserve is very large area and its name is Pachmari Biosphere Reserve. So this Pachmari Biosphere Reserve, it has national park, one national park, and its name is Satpura, and two wildlife sanctuaries called Bori and Pachmari. So in this Pachmari Biosphere, there is one national park, that is Satpura. And in this Pachmari Biosphere, again with one national park, there are two wildlife sanctuaries which are called as Bori and Pachmari. So in this way, this area is very large and it consists one national park and two wildlife sanctuaries. Next point, flora and fauna. Here you can see what is flora and what is fauna. Flora are the plants. Flora are the plants found in the particular area. If there is any particular area and if there are some plants which can be found in such area only, those are called as flora. Fauna means what? Now animal. Animals found in particular area. So here you have to understand, this point is very same, particular area and particular area. Now what is the difference in flora and fauna? Flora means the plants which found in particular area. Fauna means the animals which found in particular area are called as flora and fauna of that particular area. Example is given. The flora of Pachmari consists. Now flora of Pachmari is the biosphere reserve, and Pachmari biosphere reserve, in the Pachmari biosphere reserve there are two wildlife sanctuaries, Bori and Pachmari. So the flora of Pachmari consists. Flora means plant of Pachmari biosphere reserve. So now this is the particular area. Pachmari is the particular area, and in such area what type of plants are available? Those are called as flora of Pachmari. So which plants are available? Sal, teak, wild mango, jamun, silver fern. So these are the examples of flora of Pachmari. This particular plants can be found in the particular area. Now what is fauna? Fauna of Pachmari. Fauna means animals which can found in the Pachmari. So those are wild dog, cheetal, wolf, leopard, bull, and barking deer. So here some fauna of the Pachmari Biosphere Reserve is shown, and here the flora of the Pachmari Biosphere Reserve is shown. Endemic species. So what is endemic species? Endemic species are those species of plants and animals found only in particular area and not found in anywhere else. So what is the endemic species? Endemic species means the species of the plant and animal, but they found only in a particular area and not found anywhere else. That is called as endemic species. Now what type of endemic species are there? Example, sal and wild mango. This sal and wild mango are the endemic flora. Flora means again plants. So sal and wild mango are the endemic flora of whose endemic flora? Pachmari Biosphere Reserve or Pachmari. Then the bison, Indian giant squirrel, and the flying squirrel are the endemic fauna of this area. Now in this area only this type of animals and the plants are found. So these animals, these plants are not found anywhere else. That's why they are called as endemic flora and endemic fauna of the Pachmari. These pictures you can see wild mango. This is the sal tree, and here you can see the animals like bison, Indian giant squirrel, and the flying squirrel. So this is the endemic flora and endemic fauna of the Pachumari. Wildlife sanctuary. So what is the wildlife sanctuary? Here you can see in the picture also. Wildlife sanctuaries, as I told you, it is a large area where animals are protected. Animals are protected here. No one can hunt, no one can kill, no one can disturb them, no one can disturb their habitat also. So protected from any disturbance to them and their habitat, and the killing and the capturing. You can see the killing and the capturing of animals in the wildlife sanctuary is strictly prohibited. So there are some laws. So anyone, any person cannot kill, cannot disturb, cannot harm, cannot capture any type of animal from this wildlife sanctuary. So this is strictly prohibited. Even we cannot disturb their habitat also. So this is the wildlife sanctuary. National park. So what is a national park? National park, again, it is the area which is reserved for the wildlife animals, the wildlife, where they can freely use. So in the national park, animals are freely using their habitats and freely using the natural resources. So natural resources like water, plants, animals, so they are freely move from one place to other place in the national park, and freely they can use all the type of resources which are available in the area that is called as national park. Example, Satpura National Park. This Satpura National Park is available in the Pachumari Biosphere Reserve, and this Satpura National Park is the first reserve forest in India. It is the first reserve forest in the India. Here you can see some pictures of the flora and fauna. Endangered animals. So what are endangered animals? Endangered animals, you can see the animals. Which animals are called as endangered animals? So some animals are endangered. Endangered means they are on the way of extinction. They are on the way of disappear from the world or earth. Now here you can see endangered animals are those animals whose numbers are diminishing and might face extinction. Now diminishing means their numbers are decreasing slowly and they are disappearing slowly. So they may face extinction. So in future we cannot see them if the number of animals are get reduced. So in future only we can see in the picture format, not in the real format. So those animals are endangered animals, and when some animals are in the endangered animal group, then the government or people starts to protect them to increase their numbers. So like that way, one example I would like to do to all of that. Before few years our government started Save Tiger project, because at that time the number of tigers were very less, and it is found that one survey found that the number of tigers day by day, that number of tigers are decreasing or reducing. So then the Save Tiger project was launched to increase the number of tigers, to save the species of the tigers, and finally somehow the number of tigers are increased after few years. Example, tiger is one of the many animals which are slowly diminishing. To protect the tigers in our country, the government launched the project Tiger to ensure the survival of tiger population. So when this project was launched by our government, then after that tiger population was increased. Dinosaurs have already become extinct. Now dinosaurs, they already become extinct. Now completely they are disappeared. They cannot be seen anywhere. Only in the stories, in the picture format, we can just see. But in the world, on the earth, it is not available. Red Data Book. Now this is a Red Data Book. This book keeps a record of all endangered plants and animals. Now some plants, some animals are on the way of diminishing, on the way of disappearing. So those are included in endangered plants, endangered animals. So these endangered plants and animals of the earth we can see in one book. That book that book name is Red Data book. So this Red Data book keeps the record of all endangered animals as well as plants. Ecosystem. An ecosystem consists of all plants, animals and microorganisms living in the area along with the non-living components like climate, water and soil. What is ecosystem? Ecosystem is nothing but it is a combination of all living things as well as non-living things. Here you can include in the living thing plants, animals, microorganisms, and non-living things like climate, water, soil. So together it makes ecosystem. So here you can see all the living things are there. With the living things again there are some non-living things. Together it forms ecosystem. Migration. So what is the migration? It is the movement of animals from its own habitat to some other habitat for a particular time period every year due to climatic changes for the breeding. Here you can see in the picture some birds are flying from one place to other place. So when they are flying from one place to other place means they are migrating. So why they are migrating? Some birds, some animals starts migration in a specific season because and that migration is just for a particular time and every year it happens, and that it happens just because of climatic changes or for the breeding purpose. For the reproduction purpose also these animals, these birds can transfer from one place to other place. Otherwise if the area where they are living, where their habitat is available, if in that area if there is harsh climate, so for the particular time of period these birds, these animals starts migration. They come from that harsh climate to suitable climate. They live for 2 months there and afterwards they go back to their habitat. Now birds which fly very long distances to reach another land are called as migratory birds. Now these are the migratory birds. When they travel a long distance to reach another land and they are called as migratory bird. Recycling of paper. This is the next point of the lesson, recycling. Recycling of paper. We know that the paper everywhere it is used to make the books, to make the notebooks, to make the newspaper. Different type of things are made by using the paper. And how this paper is made? So this paper is made by the plant because the wood pulp is used to make the paper. Here you can see if 1 ton papers if we want to make, then 17 full grown trees are required to cut down. 17 full grown trees. How many? 17 full grown trees are required to cut down, and then 1 ton paper can be made. So paper can be recycled about 5 to 7 times. This is most important again because one paper can recycle 5 to 7 times. And when we send the paper for recycling, then we save all these 17 full grown trees. Not only trees, we can save energy, we can save energy, we can save water, and we can save chemicals because this energy, water and chemicals are required to make the papers and to make the new papers. But when we send the paper for recycling, that paper not require more amount of energy, not required more amount of water, and not required more amount of chemicals, and not required to cut down the trees. So in this way the trees can be saved. For that purpose we have to send the paper for recycling. We should not burn paper, we should send it for recycling. So in this way we can save our plants, we can save all the type of trees. Now reforestation. What is the reforestation? Here you can see. Reforestation. This is the last point of the lesson. Reforestation means restocking. Restocking of destroyed forest by planting new trees. So whatever the plants are cut down, whatever the trees are cut down, we can restock it. But how? By planting new trees. When we plant more and more new trees, then that restocking can be done. That is called as reforestation. Planting again. We should plant at least as many trees as we cut. We have already caused a lot of damage to our forest. If we have to regain our green health, reforestation is the only option. Now, reforestation is only one option to reduce or to bring down the pollution level, then to reduce the global warming effect, and the reforestation is only the way to clean our environment and to make the balance of the make proper balance of the environment. So for that purpose, we have to plant number of trees. We have to plant more and more trees in the rainy season. We have to suggest to other person also to plant the trees. Then only our earth can be saved. Otherwise, there will be more pollution. There will be more global warming, which can be destroyed this whole environment, whole earth. So for that purpose, everyone has to plant number of trees. Even we can occasionally also we can plant, if there is someone's birthday, then also we can plant number of trees on our birthday or on special memories. So we can plant more and more trees, because after planting we regain our green health or green wealth. So in this way the lesson is finished. Thank you.